let me join out here.
Are we live? We're live.
I can't.
You can't join at all?
No, just scoot the table that way.
All right, we got to move the table because we don't have internet on Crystal's phone, but we're live on the computer. So can you help me grab this table? All right, here we go. We're moving.
What's up, Ben?
Here.
The chairs.
Let's see if we have internet now. You got internet, Crystal?
I'm looking. Hello, everyone. I have internet. Woohoo! All right. Let's see. Ooh, live. Trying to set up our Instagram over here. Okay, Mama's got a water. Yep. All right. We're getting chairs. We're getting settled in here. Okay. Hello.
All right, a little crazy here. We're not back from our traveling yet.
We're not back from our traveling.
We haven't gotten back to the building yet, which is why we're doing the live here at the house. But we are live. Are we getting live on IG? We are now live on IG. We're now live on YouTube and Facebook.
Let's go this way so we can.
Whew.
Poor connection. Are you kidding me? There we go.
All right. So we're talking about Oak Pastures. We just got back from the.
Yeah, we're both wearing them. Okay, we got poor connection.
Man.
Okay, we're just gonna have to move it closer.
Moving it again here. This is ridiculous.
Well, you wanted to do it outside. All
Where
right,
are we
here we
moving
go.
it to?
We're gonna move just closer that way. Woohoo! All right, hope you guys are enjoying the ride. Here you go, right there.
All right, let me get a chair.
Our kid's just wandering away. Hello, sorry, we're here. We're just moving you guys around because we don't have internet.
All right, so now we are back from Oak Pastures. We went to the Rooted in Regeneration Summit this past weekend. It was hosted by Oak Pastures and CFAR, which is the acronym for Center for Agricultural Resilience. They partnered up together to create the Rooted in Regeneration Conference, and it was an amazing, amazing conference. Quite a bit different than the traditional ketogenic conferences that I've spoken at, like Hack Your Health, KetoCon, Low Carb Denver, all those. So this was a primary focus being regenerative agriculture, with a focus on animal welfare, the environment, and farming practices. So the majority of the audience was homesteaders, farmers, ranchers, and just people really focused on being self-sufficient and sourcing quality food. So lots of overlap, but not a ketogenic specific conference. I got invited to speak alongside my former client, Michael Dennehy, who was an intern at Oak Pastures, and he was my connection for making all that happen. But I truly, truly, truly loved this conference. You want to kind of talk about what your thoughts were, and I'll dive into mine?
Well, Rigel, I hear you. Can you give him some water while I talk?
This water?
Not that water. Just he's got a water bottle sitting on the ground in there. All right. So, okay, my thoughts on the Oak Pastures seminar conference thing. It was wonderful. Like, I had like a kind of like an outskirt view of things because I was taking care of Rigel and Diesel the majority of the time. So I wasn't actually able to like sit in and listen to a lot of what they had to say, but the vibes, the culture that was there was just absolutely amazing. Like the people that were there were amazing. Just super, super kind people. Everyone was excited about similar things. Everyone was very passionate about like a more natural lifestyle. Just all the things that Robert and I really crave and like need community in. And like homesteading and all of the things that just felt like so good. And again, I didn't really get to listen to a whole lot, but I was able to just get the vibe and the feelings and It was just really awesome.
There was a lot of demos there too. They had a blacksmithing demo, a beekeeping demo. They slaughtered, butchered, and processed a pig on site,
Rigel.
which was pretty cool. Rigel got to pet some newborn sheep, and there was all kinds of animals there.
There's horses and pigs and goats and lambs and all different kinds of animals.
We got a side-by-side tour of the farm, got up and close and personal with some cattle, and it was just a great experience. Like, I feel like all of us in the keto space, carnivore space, we obviously eat a lot of meat, and I can't say enough how important knowing where that meat comes from, how it was raised, what they were fed is. I mean, there shouldn't be a disconnect there. This circle of life is a reality that we all face, we're all a part of, and I think it's very important that we get connected with that relationship and know where our food comes from. Plus, I don't want to support the big box retailers that like the big grocery stores that kind of feed into this beef as a commodity market. That's just not ideal. It's not great from an environmental standpoint. It's not great from a animal welfare standpoint, and it's not great from a community building standpoint. Like Will Harris, the owner of White Oak, one of the things that I really admire about him, as I got to interact with him, was that he's totally turned the page on how things are done. I mean, he is leading the charge here with regenerative agriculture. What's the matter?
He wants up, but he wants down. He doesn't know what he wants.
But he's also done so much for that community of Bluffton, Georgia. So, like, it's a super small community, but he owns the entire community. Like, everybody there works for White Oak. He buys any of the houses that go for sale so that he can put his employees in housing. I mean, it's just a really good way to feed into the community and the environment. And, like, the quality of the meat is second to none. Like, we ate really, really good the whole time we were there. The first night that we were there, I spoke on Thursday, and after I got done speaking and the seminar was over that day, they had roasted a whole hog. Like, they had put it on the smoker the day prior, and it was absolutely delicious.
Oh, thank you.
I ate a ton of food while I was there, went way over my macros, but it was all quality food, so don't really feel guilty for that. But just amazing people. Like, one thing that Crystal and I have noticed in diving into this homesteading self-sufficiency community is that everybody is on the same page. Like, just as the keto community is so tight-knit and passionate, the homesteading and regenerative agriculture community is the same thing, and there's just so much overlap between the two that I think the more we can do to bridge that gap, the better. Because, like I said, everybody's in the keto space, carnivore space, eats a lot of meat, and the people that are raising this meat the right way want to find people to eat that meat. So it's a symbiotic relationship through and through. All right, so that is that. I want to kind of dive into some of the questions here. We missed the last week's live because we were traveling for this conference.
We didn't miss it. We just didn't. We said that we weren't going to jump on. Jonathan says, howdy. Pretty outside.
Speaking of
Rigel, I miss you.
Jay Shane, the Keto Road. He just, we have poor connection on Instagram.
That's gracious.
What is going on here? Speaking of Jay Shane, the Keto Road, he just relaunched an updated formula for his Energized Reds, which everybody should go check out. It's got a couple improvements. The flavor's changed. He's got a better electrolyte profile in it now. So check that out, folks. Show. He also said, yes, the homesteading community is awesome. Nothing but love and support. Yes, lots of love and support in the homesteading space for sure. I feel like total chaos right now. We have not even unpacked from our trip yet.
Rigel,
we just rolled
stop.
in. Rigel's being crazy. The dog's going crazy.
I mean, we have like acres and acres for them to run on, and they want to be crazy.
Yeah.
And be like right here and hitting the table.
Yes, life is.
Please stop.
Rigel, enough, buddy.
Well, I said it, and he thought he needed to do it. Okay.
But that has been our life in a nutshell for the past week. We will be back in our normal setting tomorrow. We have got a ton of exciting things in the pipeline. Lots of exciting things. But as far as regenerative agriculture goes, we got back. I had one of my employees, Chip, rotate our sheep for us while we were gone. I just got back and set up the next paddock for our sheep. So we're going to be rotating those after this live is over. So we're excited to see if we can rotate the sheep successfully without them busting free like they have in the past. Natalie says, small farms are awesome. We have a farmers cooperative that does a farmers market.
I love it.
Yes. Michael says, how did your body react to enhanced eating for a 4-day period? I eat pretty much top quality stuff all the time anyways. I ate a lot more of it that week for sure. So I definitely feel like I've been at a surplus lately, brother.
I told him if he hit the table again, he's going to get down.
So he is down. Roger, you got to be okay, buddy. Look at all this clover growing up.
I know. We have a ton of it.
We have a ton of clover. We need to get some bees out here.
I told you, buddy. You can't do that.
We're actually going to be getting, my folks have a beehive that they're going to give me. We used to raise bees way back in the day, but we're going to bring that here because bees are great for pollination and all that good stuff. But I don't really eat honey at all. That said, I just had one of the honey barbecue carnivore bars, and that was pretty tasty. But there's not that much honey in those. Adam says, I have a difficult time with magnesium and potassium, reversing my gastric bypass on the 28th, hoping it solves the problem. Yeah, I would be super curious to see what reversing the bypass does. So definitely keep us posted on that. But as far as magnesium and potassium is concerned, main thing with electrolytes is to make sure you've got the proper ratio of sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Generally speaking, I'm just focusing on the ratio between sodium and potassium, generally recommending a 2-to-1 ratio of the two. All of that in tandem with the proper amount of fluid. If you're not drinking enough, that's not good. If you're drinking too much, then that's not good. There's a tight equilibrium that exists between all of your electrolytes and your fluid intake. And I've got mine pretty well dialed in right now. You can reset that at a higher or lower level as long as the ratio is intact. But keep that in mind for sure. And just track it, like track your water.
You sit on your lap.
Yes, if you behave yourself, Roger, you can come over here and sit with me.
Go sit with Dada.
You want to come over here, buddy? Roger's not having it. Buddy, what's the matter?
Oh, okay.
Look, there's your picture right there in the see your video. Look, everybody's seeing you being a fuss butt right now. We don't need
There's
that.
a farmer that goes to my church, and the whole church buys from them. It's awesome. Rigel, quit, please. He only wants me, and it's the hardest thing in the world.
Buddy boy. Hey, what's the matter?
Okay, do you want me to just not do the live and just take him?
We'll just see if he calms down and doesn't hit the table. Oh, the toddler fits. They're so good. Love kids. Yeah, we love kids too, but he's on another level right now for sure. In all fairness, though, we have definitely pushed him a lot lately. Like we've been driving nonstop. We drove to Georgia. We drove back yesterday.
We've been in different time zones. Then the time changed.
Yeah, we've asked a lot of him for sure. Natalie says, hi, Rigel. Paul says, I feel you. Yeah, no rest for the wicked.
×2.
Yeah, you got like 2 of them, so you got double trouble.
Can you get his water real quick?
Yeah, where's over here?
Whew, we're calming down here. We got it.
We're making headway. What else we want to talk about? Do we have any other topics at the top of mind?
No, not specifically.
But there was something that I wanted to talk about in the live.
We're both definitely getting our nutrition more dialed in. Robert's been pretty dialed in. I'm trying to be a little bit more accurate with my tracking and stuff coming up. So I'm really excited about that. I'm about to ground some meat tomorrow once it thaws out. And I'm really excited about that. Having more consistency.
I've been dialed in with the tracking and with the quality of the food, but I've definitely been eating in a pretty significant surplus lately. I had 7,000 calories the other day. My average has been about 5,100 or so this past week, and I'm gaining weight as a result of that. No surprise there, but I feel like my body's responding well. Like I feel great in the gym. Performance is on a whole nother level, so I'm not really mad about the increased weight. Keto Road says kids act different when they're cranky. Haley's an animal. Yeah. I think we need to just implement the same regenerative rotational grazing practices with Raj. Like we'll just build a nice little electric fence paddock for
I
him
think not.
and then move it every few days.
Bike.
That way he gets fresh habitat. I think that would work.
I don't think it'll
Child
work.
Protective Services
No way,
may have
Jose.
something to say about that.
No way, Jose.
But
Bike.
there's a whole lot of things that are on the pipeline like this week and next that I'm super excited to talk about, but I don't necessarily want to tell y'all just yet. I kind of want to tease it a little bit.
What
But
did you say?
there's some exciting things coming.
Mm.
But if you want to get first dibs on these things, I would highly encourage y'all to keep an eye on the 7 Set Sunday newsletter that I publish every week. And I would keep an eye on that for sure. Keto Road says, kidding. Yeah, shock collar would not be good for the kiddo. CPS would definitely have something to say about that for
We
sure.
should probably stop talking about this. This is not a good subject.
The government's probably listening to us. They're going to come take our kiddo or something.
Can we get out of there?
What we got here from Michael? Crystal, what was the ingredient you mentioned avoiding in dairy? I believe it was an emulsifier.
It's a
Carrageenan.
Carrageenan.
It's in most heavy creams. What did you find out? There's a recent study done on it.
Yeah, you're like 46% more likely to get cancer. I've not had it. I've been having.
Was there any type of
anything-
cancer? Was it in a human study?
I don't remember what. I don't know. I just know that for years they've said that it's not good for you and it can be cancer causing, and so I just stopped buying any heavy cream or anything that has it in there. And just recently someone posted something about there being a study on it again, and I honestly don't remember what kind it was.
And a lot of these
Got it.
studies are kind of fear-mongering studies. Like, not saying that this
But I
one
mean,
is.
like, should you have it anyways?
No, it's definitely
Exactly.
not optimal. I would recommend not
Heavy
seeking
cream.
it out.
Cream is literally the top fat portion of the milk when it settles.
Yeah.
It does not need a thickener. It does not need anything added to it. So if it's not necessary,
I agree
then just
wholeheartedly.
don't have it. You know.
But I don't necessarily think that, again, I have to look at the study, but I don't necessarily think that cream with a little bit of carrageenan is going to automatically give everybody cancer. But I don't know. I don't know what the study said. I don't know if it was a human study. I don't know what the population size of that study was. I mean, everything gives you cancer if you find it in a study. Cooking your meat too much gives you cancer. Not cooking your meat enough gives you cancer. Red meat gives you cancer. Like, everything gives you cancer. So I have to look at the study for sure. What else we got?
No, thank you.
Sarah
No, thank
says guar gum and xanthan gum destroy my stomach. Yeah, a lot of things
No, thank you.
people have different thresholds too. Like, some people can consume that in
Please stop.
moderate amounts and not have any issues whatsoever. And some people, especially those that have autoimmune issues or sensitivities, it totally tears up their stomach. So
No way,
to
Jose.
that degree, we would definitely need to do some individualized testing to see how it impacts you or not, as far as the GI stuff goes. What else you got, baby?
I don't have anything.
Open discussion now, by the way, in case you hadn't figured out anything that you want to talk about, throw it our
Yeah.
way and we will dive into it. I've got a whole bunch of logs right there that I've got to finish unloading from the trailer and cut up into firewood at some point. So I got some work cut out for me there.
I'm gonna take a bath tonight. Robert doesn't know that, but now he does.
Yeah, when are you gonna do that?
I don't know. I am gonna take a bath. I'm gonna take a bath.
That is firewood fire.
A quiet bath
yeah.
by myself.
Yeah.
I deserve it, right?
I don't know about all that. All right, what else we got here? Sarah says, acacia gum also, what's up with all the fake fibers? Acacia gum is generally one of the better tolerated fibers. Like MCT powder, for instance. A lot of MCT powder, MCT oil
that's not nice.
has to be adhesed to some form of
Hey, please stop.
fibrous substance to
You're gonna
become a
get me
powder. Same with all protein powders. A lot of companies will use maltodextrin or tapioca starch or soy lecithin or sunflower lecithin or acacia fiber. Acacia fiber is one of my preferred because it's the cleanest and has the least effect on a glycemic index scale. But again, some people are super sensitive and some people aren't at all. So this is where the individuality really comes into the picture with regards to gastric thresholds. What else we got? What are you going to talk about, Rigel? We got our dog Diesel over here to my left chewing on a chunk of wood. He's doing pretty good. He's growing like a weed. He's gaining about 1 pound a day. He's
Should I
probably in
worry?
a
That's a good one.
caloric surplus too. Should I worry about the sugar in bacon? All right, good question. So most preserved meats are going to have a preservative of some kind. Like some are just simply smoked. Some just have salt in them. Like a cured, depending on how old school you want to get, like a cured ham can just simply be cured with salt in isolation. Like that's it. But a lot of companies, especially in a commercialized, industrialized setting, are going to be using preservative agents like nitrites, nitrates, and a lot of them are also going to put sugar in there. There's a lot of sugar in a lot of the bacons, a lot of the sausages, a lot of the lunch meats, salami, things of that nature. Now, from a ketogenic standpoint, there's not going to be that much sugar in bacon, most bacon. I mean, if it says something like sweet applewood honey barbecue bacon, then yeah, there's probably going to be a lot more sugar in there. But most non-sweetened bacons that just have some sugar in it as a preservative agent are not going to really cause any macronutrient issues with your ketogenic endeavors. But they do make some options that are clean and don't include sugar, and I would always try and seek those out when given the option. We get a lot of our bacon, if we do get it from a grocery store, Peterson Farms.
No sugar added.
No sugar added bacon. But we also just found a local farmer that hooked us up with a bunch of pork bacon, and there's no sugar added in the bacon, I don't believe. Is it?
Not that I know of. Yeah. I would prefer it be sliced a little more thinly, but other than that, it's really good.
Sarah says, thanks. You bet, Sarah. How much fiber do you consume daily on average? So I had my first salad the other day in a year. But honestly, not that much fiber. Like from a vegetation standpoint, I'm pretty minimal with my vegetation. I get some on the occasional veggies I eat, but I'd probably say like 10 grams a day top that I'm consuming in fiber. So very minimal on the fiber standpoint. How do you feel about avocados? Avocados are great. I like avocados. There's quite a bit of fiber in avocados, actually. There's also a ton of potassium. So one average sized avocados got, sometimes as much as 1,000 milligrams of potassium. So pretty good source of potassium, pretty good source of monounsaturated fats. And I like the way avocados taste. Now, some people don't respond well to avocados. They cause some fluid retention, some GI distress. But if you don't have any issues with avocados, I think that's a great option. What else we got? Avocados are technically a fruit, right? Yeah. Technically a fruit. So that's one of the few fruits I eat is an avocado. What else we got, Joe? Anything else on the pipeline? Anything on the IG over here?
Nope.
Nothing on the IG.
Nope.
Well,
yes.
Say yes. Roger says nope when he means yes, and he says nope when he means no.
It's really fun figuring it out. No.
And he says dada when he's referring to me, but he also says dada when he means doo-doo. So I'm multi-purpose. I'm dada and doo-doo. Here we go. Should I weigh out my grams of salt, or can I just heavily salt my food? Great question, and it all just depends how accurate you want to get things. So if you're really trying to hedge against any unnecessary or unplanned for fluid retention, then I would probably weigh out your salt. Like when I'm in a prep and I'm getting close to show day, I'm trying to optimize my peak week and I'm manipulating my electrolytes very specifically, then I weigh out all my salt. On the day-to-day, when you can embrace fluctuations in weight and not worry about it, you don't need to weigh out your salt. But it just really depends on how accurate you want to get, how closely you want to monitor your electrolyte levels. I would just have a pulse on it, though. Like if you're being mindful of how much sodium you're consuming in any electrolyte supplements you're taking, and then you just salt your food intuitively, that should get you pretty close. Do you limit them because of fiber, too many carbs? I'm not really worried about the fiber and the carbs from that fiber inhibiting my level of fat metabolism per se, because the amount of fiber I consume relative to the amount of fat and protein I consume is incredibly minimal. But I honestly don't feel as good when I eat a ton of fiber or vegetation or carbohydrates. Like if I have a whole bunch of vegetation, I just get more bloat and more fluid retention. Because, if you think about it, humans as a species we are not like our digestive system was never designed to ferment food like that of a ruminant animal, like a cow or a deer is. We don't have a four-chamber stomach. We don't have a long cecum like an orangutan does. We are not designed, digestively speaking, to be able to ferment food very efficiently. Now we can, to some degree for sure, but that fermentation has to take place. So if you're consuming a bunch of raw vegetables, they have to ferment in your gut, and that's oftentimes going to lead to some GI distress. So if I'm going to consume a lot of vegetation, I try to opt for ones that are pre-fermented. So fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, things like that typically respond a little bit better. But I don't honestly consume that much vegetation anyways.
Love your lifestyle. We got an incubator and our kids loved watching them hatch. Your boy would love it. My sister-in-law just got one too, and she's doing her first round. I would love to do that, but maybe in like a year or two.
Yeah, we're gonna get more chickens though. We're gonna get what did we decide on? 15 more laying hens, 20 more laying hens.
Something like that.
Yeah, so more laying hens, and then also we're gonna start getting into the meat bird business. So we'll probably get 60 meat birds and start rotating them as well.
Struggling to meet protein and fat targets. Any tips for eating more? Also, how many?
How many times a day do you eat trying to put on muscle? So if you're trying to put on muscle and eat more, I would recommend doing at least 2 meals a day instead of an OMAD approach, maybe even 3 or 4 meals a day if you need to get more food in than you are. And then just opt for more calorically dense options. So a 80-20 ground beef instead of a 90-10. A keto brick could get some calories in for sure. But fattier options that are going to be more calorically dense would be great. And then if you need to break that up into more meals, that's totally fine as well. If you're trying to optimize muscle building, I would say that you're going to be better off getting at least 2 meals as opposed to 1. So more muscle protein synthesis, more leucine spikes from multiple meals. No need to eat 7 meals a day by any means, but definitely 2 at a minimum. Yay, meat birds. We love our fresh chicken. Sure enough is. Yeah, I definitely am excited about getting the meat birds for sure. We got to order those before too long.
I know, we do. We got to order them. I'm so excited about them. We're going to get a lot.
Is both of your day jobs still working keto break? Or are you able now to take on a more passive role and focus on influencing videos, etc.?
Woo!
That is a loaded question right there. So nothing I do is passive. Crystal is able to spend a lot of her time here with Rigel, focusing on being a mom. But I am pretty much nonstop all day long. I wake up at 3 and work on the different aspects of the business until, I don't know, just depending on the day, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 15-hour days is the norm for me as a minimum usually. But yeah, definitely not passive, but I love everything I do, so I wouldn't want to do it any different. But I'm not making the bricks. I can make the bricks. I sometimes do make the bricks. But I'm doing a lot of the big picture stuff with the business, more so than the production side of the business. But I go into the compound every day. They're working on things. And podcasting, content creation, videos, working on a course right now. So lots of content for sure, but lots of keto brick stuff. Like I'm always talking and emailing with suppliers, with our wholesalers,
it's a never
with
stop.
our customers. Yeah, there's definitely not a passive role. How often do you recommend weighing yourself if you're not in phase where you or I really care that much? I think I am fine. Certainly not perfectly buff, not overweight. So I like having the data. So I weigh myself every day. But it's super simple. Like my scale is a smart scale and it syncs with my phone, so it inputs those metrics automatically, which makes things very easy. I just wake up in the morning, take a leak, jump on the scale, and then it uploads automatically, and it just takes, like, I don't fixate on it at all. It just is what it is. So I would recommend that. Hey guys, just got off the treadmill. Hope I didn't miss much. Didn't miss much, but we're actually about to get off. We're 30 minutes in right now. So you missed a lot, actually. You missed the whole conversation. So definitely go back and watch that because we had some good info in here, I think. That said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go rotate the sheep, cook dinner, and unload the trailer from firewood. And then I got to do some more emails and computer work and all that good stuff. So we love y'all. We thank y'all. Definitely check out White Oak Pastures and all the good stuff that happened at the Rooted in Regeneration Summit that was this past weekend.
We will definitely be returning.
We will, 100% for sure. We'd love to see some of y'all there as well. So ta-ta for now. Much love to you all, and have a great
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.